Hi viewers, good morning. This is Anjay. Welcome to English speaking class. Guys, girls, and Shotao, my viewers, listeners, students. Assalamu alaikum. Rajahao, Sabah al Khair, Marhaba, Privet. आइए आज हम इंग्लिश में कॉमनली इस्तेमाल होने वाले हु को देखते हैं और हु से बनने वाले जुमलों को एलेबोरेट करते हैं। यहाँ पे आप पिक्चर डेमो में देख रहे हैं। यहाँ पे मुख्तलिफ डिफरेंट पीपल आर स्टैंडिंग इन अ क्यू। दे आर वेटिंग फॉर बस। दे आर ऑन अ बस स्टॉप। दे आर वेटिंग फॉर बस। लेट्स स्टार्ट द क्वेश्चंस अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर standings and use of who. We are gonna use who in speaking. Who's standing first in a row? Who's first in a queue? Who's first in a queue? Here see, who's first in a queue? Mr. Paul is first in a queue. Mr. Paul is first in a queue. Mr. Paul is first in a queue. And who has mustache? Mr. Paul has mustache. Who has mustache? Mr. Paul has mustache. And Mr. Paul is first in a queue. They are waiting for the bus. They are at a bus stand. Now we see that who's second in a row? Who's second in a queue? Who's second in a queue? The Minto is second in a queue. The Minto is second in a queue. Minto जो है कतार में दूसरे नंबर पे है. And who has shorts? Who has shorts? Minto has shorts. You can see the second in a queue. Minto is wearing shorts. And next, who's in a queue? Who's third in a queue? Who's third in a queue? You can see there's a lady who's third in a queue. There's a lady who's third in a queue. He's wearing hat. She's wearing hat. वो hat पहने हुए है. Who has a hat? Who has a hat? Who has a hat? His name is Susie. Susie. Miss Susie has a hat. Miss Susie has a hat. You can see that Miss Susie has a hat. Miss Susie is wearing a hat. You may say that Miss Susie is wearing a hat. Miss Susie is wearing a hat. And we can say who has a pink hat? That hat is a pink. Who has a pink hat? Miss Susie has a pink hat. Miss Susie has a pink cat. Now you may ask, who's next in a queue? Who's next in a queue? Who's wearing glasses? Who's wearing glasses? Who's wearing glasses? Glasses चश्मा कौन पहने हुए है? और who's fourth in a queue? कतार में नंबर 4 पे कौन है? Who's wearing glasses? You see here, Sabir. Sabir has wearing glasses. Sabir has wearing glasses. Sabir has wearing glasses. He's holding a bag in his hand. Who's carrying a bag? Who's carrying a bag? Sabir is carrying a bag. Sabir is carrying a bag. Sabir एक बैग उठाए हुए है और साबिर ने चश्मा पहना हुआ है. And who's fifth in a row? Who's fifth in a row? Who's fifth in a queue? क्यू में 5वें नंबर पर कौन है? क्यू में 5वें नंबर पर कौन है? Pinky is in a row. Pinky is in a row. Pinky 5वें नंबर पर कतार में है. Pinky is in a row. Pinky is in a row. Right? Pinky is in a row. Who has a doll? Next query we may ask. We may ask next query. Who has a doll? Who has a doll? Pinky has a doll. Pinky is carrying a doll. Pinky has a doll. पिंकी के पास एक गुड़िया है. पिंकी is carrying a doll. पिंकी एक गुड़िया को उठाए हुए है. Now, who's next? Who's next to Pinky? Who's next to Pinky? Who's next to Pinky? The Mary is next to Pinky. Who has a bucket? Who has a bucket? The Mary has a bucket. The Mary has a bucket. Mary is carrying a bucket. Mary is carrying a bucket. मैरी एक टोकरी उठाए हुए है. और पिंकी से आगे कतार में मैरी है. पिंकी के बाद नेक्स्ट टू पिंकी. पिंकी के बाद मैरी कतार में है. Let's have another query. Who has an umbrella? Who has an umbrella? Aha, the clone. The clone has an umbrella. The clone is carrying an umbrella. The clone is carrying an umbrella. The clone is carrying an umbrella. Here you see that, guys. We have many questions, many queries, and we have set their answers. Let's ask who's last in a queue. Who's last in a queue? Who's last in a queue? Here you see who's last in a queue. Sheila is last in a queue. Sheila is last in a queue. Lena is last in a queue. It's Lena. Lena is last in a queue. And who's wearing a coat? Who's wearing a coat? Lena is wearing a coat. Who's wearing a blue coat? Lena is wearing a coat. Lena is wearing a blue coat. Lena is wearing a blue coat. Who has a blue coat? Who has a blue coat? Lena has a blue coat. Here you guys, you see that we have made many queries and we have answered them by watching this picture, by watching this demo, and there are colorful costumes which the people are wearing. They are patiently waiting for the bus. They are patiently waiting for the bus. What they are doing there? They are straining. They are straining. They are waiting for the bus. Let's repeat these phrases again. आइए इन जुमलों को दोबारा से दोहराते हैं. Let's start from the very first. Who has a pink hat? Who has a pink hat? Lady Susie has a pink hat. Lady Susie has a pink hat. Next, who has a blue coat? Who has a blue coat? Lena has a blue coat. Lena has a blue coat. Lena has a blue coat. Who has sunglasses? Who has sunglasses? Mr. Sauber has sunglasses. Mr. Sauber has sunglasses. Who has mustache? Who has mustache? Mr. Paul has mustache. Mr. Paul has mustache. He is first in a queue. He is first in a row. Mr. Paul has mustache. Next query is who has swords? Who has swords? Who's wearing swords? Minto has swords. Minto is wearing swords. And next query is who has a bucket? Who has a bucket? Who has a bucket? Mary has a bucket. Mary is holding a bucket. Mary is carrying a bucket. And last is who has an umbrella? Who has an umbrella? Who has an umbrella? The clone has an umbrella. The clone has an umbrella. The clone has an umbrella. Who's carrying an umbrella? The clone has carrying an umbrella. The clone's carrying an umbrella. The clone's carrying an umbrella. And last one is who's wearing a blue coat? Who has a blue coat? Who has a blue coat? Lena has a blue coat. As she is standing, where she is standing? She is last in a queue. She is last in a row. Hey, you guys, make a good practice with these question answers, and we have used who in these phrases. We have used who in speaking, and we have made many answers. Memorize these phrases. Keep in touch. Subscribe my channel. I'll see you again. Goodbye. Goodbye.